Hello everyone, I'm Aaron. Welcome back to another video on A Birding Naturalist. I took a trip out to the coast to see some amazing marine mammals. I want to take you along. So the marine mammal in question, the northern elephant seal. Amazing, huge animals, very impressive to see. I'm recording right now, not where the elephant seals were, because it was very windy there, which will account for some of the shakiness of the footage, and also made it so that the sound quality of any recording I was trying to do was terrible. So I'm here in a much quieter, stiller spot, but I have lots of elephant seals to show you. So the northern elephant seal lives in the northeastern Pacific Ocean. They spend about 9 months out of their year swimming around out in the ocean. Males tend to be in the sort of the more northern part of their range. Females tend to be out in the open ocean in the western part. But either way, they are out there swimming around, finding lots of fish and squid and other marine organisms to eat. They all, males and females, come to shore to breed. So the vast majority of their life, they're out there living in the water, swimming around. But they do come on land, and it's for a specific part of the year, for a specific purpose. That part of the year is right around now. They show up on beaches across sort of Northern California, actually much of California, in sort of starting as early as maybe December, and they'll stay for maybe as late as March, and then it's back to the ocean with them. And that's where we met up with them. My family and I drove out to Point Reyes, and specifically to a place called Drake's Beach. And that is one of the beaches that these northern elephant seals have found that make for a nice breeding location. For whatever reason, currents, access, shape of the beach, whatever it is, the elephant seals have decided that that's a great spot for them. They like it. And so they come back every year, and apparently with sort of increasing numbers. This particular beach that we went to is sort of in the process of being discovered, it seems, by the elephant seal population. And so it was a great, great trip. Yes, windy and cold, but amazing views of these elephant seals. So elephant seals come to shore to breed, like I said. And so the males generally show up first. And in fact, most of the animals that we saw were males. And they stake out territories. They vie with each other for dominance on the beach. The biggest males that control the most chunks of beach are called beach masters, which is a great title. And those beach masters fight each other and drive off smaller males and jostle for position because the ones who control big chunks of beach get to mate with the females that are on that beach. So it's all about reproductive access to females. The females come a bit later, so there were definitely some females that showed up while we were there. And they are there first to give birth. They've been pregnant for about 11 months. And so they come to shore and give birth to little baby seals, little baby northern elephant seals. And then feed those babies, give them lots of wonderful breast milk, get them kind of up to size a little bit, and then mate with those beach masters before returning to the ocean. A pretty incredible life cycle. Kind of astounding to think of them being pregnant for 11 months, out swimming in the cold waters of the northern Pacific, not touching land, finding all the food they need. Incredible animals. The differences in mating sort of angles between the male and female mean they're actually significant sexual dimorphism, which basically just means that males look different from females. In this case, the males are much bigger. A male, called a bull, northern elephant seal, can weigh 3, 4, 5,000 pounds. Some of the really, really big ones can rarely get up to like 8,000 pounds. Very, very large. This is almost into like the rhinoceros size class of animal. Very big animals. Can be 13 feet long, massive, massive animals. The females, smaller, usually only about 10 feet long, usually weighing in the more like 1 to 2,000 pound range. Still a big animal, still so much bigger than me, but definitely smaller than those males. One thing that is true of both the males and the females is that while they are on land, they actually fast. So they have to get enough food during the 9 months they're in the ocean so they can store up enough body mass and fat so that then when they come on land, they don't eat it all and they just have enough resources and reserves to get them through the breeding process. So males use a lot of energy jostling each other, fighting with each other. Females use a lot of energy giving birth and breastfeeding their babies. Females in particular can lose up to like 1/3 of their body weight in the months that they are on land before returning to the ocean. So they're obviously very hungry. It's quite an endurance run to stay on land, to not eat, to raise a baby and get it healthy, and then still have enough energy to go out into the ocean and start fishing and finding food. And while those females are busy giving birth and feeding their babies, those males, like I said, rivaling, fighting with each other, and they do that by rearing up their sort of heads and chests and charging after each other, sometimes even coming into combat, sort of slamming into each other, where they can strike and bite at one another. And they also bugle a lot. One of the ways that a male elephant seal, northern elephant seal, proclaims his ownership of a chunk of beach is to rear up and to inflate his sort of pouch on his nose and give these bellowing, deep sort of rumbling sounds. And that is where the elephant seals, northern and southern elephant seals, get their name. It's from that sort of nose proboscis protrusion that they have that looks kind of sort of a little bit like an elephant's trunk. And so yeah, they inflate it and they make this incredible noise that can be heard for quite a distance down the beach. And it's one of the ways that they tell other males how big they are and how they have claimed this chunk of beach and to not come over here. Elephant seal populations are doing better and better these days, but that was not always the case. In the late 1800s, extensive hunting really pushed this species' population levels very, very low. These were hunted for a bit of meat, but mostly for their blubber, for oil. And so, just like whales, this marine mammal was driven to the brink of extinction. It is estimated that the northern elephant seal population dropped in the sort of late 1800s to something like maybe as low as 20 to 40 individuals. It was actually thought to be extinct for a while, but small pockets were found, and so probably bottomed out at like 20 to 40 individuals. The species was protected more and more over the years, and also the demand for oil has dropped, at least for whale and seal oil has dropped. And so those things combined to allow the population to rebound pretty well. These are now fully protected species as a marine mammal in the US and also in Mexico as well. And so they're now estimated to be about 200,000 northern elephant seals in the world, which is great, a wonderful population recovery. That isn't completely without hazards, because going through that very small population number, 20 to 40 individuals, is something of a genetic bottleneck. It means the number of genetic variations in the population shrank quite a bit. And so as those 20 to 40 individuals started to rebuild this whole population, that meant that there was a fair bit of inbreeding, especially early on, and not a lot of genetic variation. And that can cause issues for disease resistance and mutations, birth defects, that kind of thing, can become more prominent in highly inbred populations. The bigger the population gets, the less of a danger that is. So hopefully they're on their way out of the other side of this genetic bottleneck without too much harm being done. But there's always that sort of lingering concern. But like I said, right now, populations are doing well, they're growing, they're thriving, and they're discovering more beaches to come to, and more and more are coming to those beaches as they're finding safe refuges and being able to go through their entire life cycle of feeding out in the ocean, coming to land, breeding, and increasing their populations more and more and more. It was a great trip out to Point Reyes. If you have the ability to get out to the coast, anywhere basically from Point Reyes down into Baja California, you can spot places, find beaches where these colonies show up, and they are amazing to go and see and hear, and yes, even smell, and to experience a bit of the life cycle of these incredible marine mammals, the northern elephant seal. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed some of the footage that I was able to get, and I hope you learned a little bit about these amazing northern elephant seals. As always, thank you for the view, and enjoy the natural world.